You see, events are experiential. Your client's satisfaction starts with that experience they feel during events. And this has to do with your sensory organs. Does that sound like biology? Right? Oh, well, stay with me. I'm going somewhere. Oftentimes, you need to put yourself in the position of the client, of the guest, and picture that when you get to an event space, what is the first thing you see? The visual element, right? So your visual element must be strong. Half of the time, we underestimate this. And this has to do with all that our eyes can see. Unfortunately or fortunately, decoration is a big piece that is tied to this. The more you work with mediocre and tacky decorators, the more it will seem like your event planning was not on point, was not thought through. So imagine that you've worked many nights and many months, and then the decorator does not bring the work in such a way that it is visually appealing, because that's what your eyes will see. It can tone down the efficacy of all that you've done over the last weeks and months. So basically, the experience can be first judged by what the eyes can see. The eyes must be pleased. Your guest's eyes, your client's eyes must be pleased with what they see to even appreciate all those difficult situations you maneuvered. Difficult vendors you had to chase, the budget you had to revamp, work on, redo, in negotiations you had to do. At that point, nobody remembers it. What is clearly remembered or important is what the eyes can see. So you must pay attention to opticals, visuals, and added to these are the LED screens, lighting, banners, signages. You must pay attention to this from the gate, from the outdoor elements into the event space. Half of the time, event planners just feel like, well, I'm the event planner. The decorator's part is not entirely tied to mine, but you do not understand that events are experiential and tied solely and most importantly to what the eyes see. So do yourself a favor in 2024 to work with decorators who understand their craft. Number 2, auditory nerves. Yes, biology, right? Auditory nerves. What your ears will hear. Very important. The sound, the texture. Yes, when someone holds a microphone, how does it come to the guest? How does it sound? Is it pleasing to the ears? Very imperative. So you will not be working with DJs that don't understand this, because after the eyes, then the ears. So your sound must be smooth and have quality texture. Yes, I said texture. You can actually feel it with your auditory nerves. And of course, you may be wondering, okay, the next one may just be smell. Do I need to talk about that? Yes, it is all part of the experience. Smell good. The environment must smell good. Don't say, oh, there was no budget for air fresheners. You create that budget, because it's all experiential. It's all tied to it. Your staff must smell fresh as well. The vendors must smell fresh as well, because it is tied to the total experience. And you will know that taste plays its role as well. We should know that food, water, the drinks, how will they taste? Great, right? But you must pay attention to what goes into making them taste well and presented well. Now, the next one that you should pay attention to is how your guests feel. You may say feeling has to do with the skin, but in this context, I am talking about the fact that what happy hormones do your event guests and clients feel when they come into the space? What way does the music make them feel? What kind of emotions does the atmosphere trigger? So it's important that you have in mind that this sensory organ is at play when your guests are going to analyze how the event went, because events are experiential. Air conditioning, how do they feel? Is it too cold? Is it too humid? All tied to how people feel. You must understand this and put it to heart for every situation that has to do with an event. The feeling is tied to many of the other sensory organs, but I bet you never even knew that our sensory organs are all tied to, how events are perceived on the long run, because your experience is tied to all these organs. What you see, first of all, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, and what you feel. Does the event evoke beautiful feelings for you, guests, for you, for the guest, and of course your client? Now that you know that, there's something I want you to hold on to. You may have been admiring a lot of event planners who you think have so much going on for them, and you're almost seeing them as competition. And sometimes you go and observe what they're doing that you do not do well. I want to leak a secret to you. I want you to know that there's something that you must hold on to this year if you want to stand out, if you want to be as good as that event planner, or perhaps stand out better. You know why you may stand out better? Because half of the time, what I've found is that you have more experience, you have more exposure, and you have more innate abilities than these people that you're even admiring, but you do not utilize them. That too is communication. And I'm not even talking about communication from the perspective of talking about using special accents, using professional jargons, or using bogus language. I am talking about the fact that you need to articulate your value, articulate your prowess, articulate and talk about your abilities. Half of the time you have done well, but you cannot even put them together to communicate it. Many times your clients will be relying on you to make decisions. It is what you communicate to them that will let them know that they can trust you, that will give them a sense of, I have found the right person to work with. If there's any skill you must learn this year, it will have to be to optimize and improve on your communication skills. View communication as the way that your client will earn your trust. Your client is listening to different people per time, per situation. It is how you clearly communicate your prowess, your values, that will make them trust you. And you know that trust is actually the most fundamental element in this whole journey. The truth is, I will not have anyone plan my event if I do not have a semblance of trust in them. So if you will play with anything this year, do not play with communication. You need to work deliberately on communicating better, because it is one of the other reasons why you should do this is that transparent communication with clients helps you to discuss and align yourself with their expectations. Challenges that you think will come from the event, you can discuss it already ahead with communication. Half of the time, most of us are sitting on lights. We are like a beacon of light, but we keep dimming our light with shutting our mouths and not communicating clearly. You do not talk about your clients' testimonials. You do not demonstrate, the obstacles that you were able to overcome with previous clients. You do not talk about them. How will they trust you? And it is also with communication that you can tailor your services to your client's uniqueness. It is with communication that you can show that you are flexible and you are client-centric, because every client has their unique needs. But if you do not understand and clearly communicate that prowess, you will be behind. You can even use the power of communication to educate your clients. Trust me, half of the time our clients want to take decisions, but they need your help. Or you don't know, you play small. You don't even trust your own prowess. So they can't trust you. They want to make critical decisions regarding an event. They need you, but you're not communicating. You're not communicating that level of ability that will make them understand that if you say yes, then they should go with yes. Half of the time, they really need your support. But that support and trust has to come from communication. Most importantly, this year, you should work out a way to put worth on yourself, better worth on yourself, and be better priced. Your services should be better priced. How will you do it without communication? You see why communication has to be your friend. This year, you should be able to put actual worth on your services, and this will reflect in the price of your services. So if you're one of those who have said, this year, I want to work on my pricing, I want to work on my negotiation, I want to be able to tell this client that I want them to pay this kind of 6 figures, 7 figures, in whatever currency you desire, you must understand that it will not jump on you. It will not just happen by a wish or by mere wish. It will be carried on the wings of communication. I will help you with this in my upcoming signature event management program. for event planners who want to attract and position themselves for high profile events and want to put a better price to their services. In other words, that means that this year you will be able to boldly say that this is the cost of my price and do it efficiently. I can help you. Sign up for this program. Register in the link somewhere on this video and sign up. I will help you.